Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at something substantially more complicated. So please stay with me and let's look at queuing in threads with shared state. The first thing I'm going to do is import a few things. So I'm going to import time and random, as we know, to do our fizzying. And I'm also going to import queue. The queue module has a queue in it which is going to be essential for our program to work. And I'm going to explain exactly what this queue does and why it's different from a deck. And then, of course, from threading, we're going to import thread to start with. We'll then use a thread pool executor later. We're going to have our global counter. And we're also going to have two queues. We're going to have a job queue. And we're going to have a counter queue. Okay. Job queue is going to be the command, the things to be printed out. The counter queue is amounts by which to increase counter. Okay. All right. Now, we are going to be doing something which is every time we want to increase counter, we're going to put 1 into the queue. So we're going to put the number 1 into this queue. Then we're going to have some code looking through this queue, and whenever a number appears, it's going to increase counter by that amount. At the same time, we're going to have another thread going through this job queue, and whenever it sees something appear in there, it's going to print it out. That's essentially how this program is going to work. So, let's do it. We're going to first define our increment manager, which is going to take in our global counter. Remember, multiple threads could be doing this at the same time. And then we're going to do while true. It's going to get the counter from this counter queue. Remember, this counter queue here has a queue of multiple numbers potentially by which we want to increase the counter. So increment is going to be counter queue dot get. Okay. And this is important because this waits until an item is available and then locks the queue. Okay. So this is going to wait until an item is available, and when it is, it's not going to allow any other threads to get anything until we are done. Then we're going to say old counter is counter. Counter is now old counter plus the increment. Then we are going to put something into the job queue. The new counter value is counter. And we're also going to put in our lines. Okay, we're going to put these two things. And finally, counter queue dot task done. This unlocks the queue. So now another thread could go back and get something if they wanted. So as soon as something comes in here, this counter queue is now locked. The thread has that resource. No other thread can access this resource until we call task done, and that marks the queue as not locked anymore. Another thread can then go through this get. Okay. Cool. We're going to run this